Hey guys, Harry here and welcome to another Premier League game week review. It's game week 4 and it was a great weekend. In the background is a FIFA 15 demo gameplay, hopefully you enjoy that. Barcelona playing. Anyway, on to the first game. There was only one game today on Sunday, which was Manchester United versus QPR, and finally Manchester United put in a really good performance. Debuts for Di Maria. Very good performance for him. He was the man of the match by a mile. His forward runs, lots of pace, just caused so many problems for QPR. He got a goal from a free kick, which was fairly lucky, but very good delivery. And Herrera, Rooney, and Mata also scored goals. Overall, it was a very good performance from Manchester United. At times, maybe the defence still looked a tiny bit shaky, but obviously it's going to improve. It's not the most experienced defence, but it will get better after time. Falcao came on in the second half and looked decent. Had one decent opportunity where he could have scored, but Rob Elliott saved that. Moving on to the next match, Arsenal-Manchester City. That match ended 2-2, and it was a fairly good match. Arsenal scored with Wilshere and Sanchez, Man City with Aguero and Di Michelis. Danny Welbeck obviously had his debut for Arsenal and had one really good opportunity where he hit the post, but should have really scored. Frank Lampard, of course, played 45 minutes on his debut and looked okay. Yaya Toure had a bit of jet lag, so didn't start the game, unfortunately, so Manchester City lost a player there. But overall, yeah, Arsenal looked pretty decent. Wilshere in particular, very good runner of the ball. A lot of people expected a lot of Wilshere as a young player, coming up, but he hasn't really come up to that yet, but did look very good against Manchester City. Overall, the passing looked very good. Alexis Sanchez, although he got a goal, was fairly poor in the first half, but improved as the match went on. So overall, that's a decent result for both teams there, and I think they'll be happy with that. Moving on to the Newcastle match. Between Newcastle and Southampton. Newcastle were very poor. It looks like Pardew might be going in the coming weeks. Southampton rolled over them 4-0 with Pele, the new signing, getting 2 goals. Southampton, although they've obviously got rid of a few players in the summer, a lot of people saying they wouldn't do well. I disagree with that. They've bought some very good players, including Bertrand, Fraser Foster, obviously Pele, and look very good. They won 4-0. And they will improve as the season goes on. I can see them getting, 7th, maybe even 6th, that kind of area, because they're a very good team. As for Newcastle, there was just no fight, nothing there, and, Pardew doesn't look like he's got too much time left. Moving on to the Chelsea-Swansea game, that finished 4-2, thanks to a Diego Costa hat-trick. That man is just a great striker, great finisher. Scored 7 goals in 4 games so far, which is phenomenal. Obviously transferred from Atletico Madrid in the transfer window. Swansea took the lead, but after that Chelsea seemed to dominate possession at their home ground, and generally Diego Costa just finished what he got, and Chelsea won that match. Moving on to not the best match, Crystal Palace versus Burnley. Not really, obviously lack of quality in that match, not the best players as you would expect with the lack of financial backing in both teams. Obviously there was a penalty which Crystal Palace saved, Julian Speroni from Scott Arfield, but both teams are still without a Premier League win, but Burnley are off the bottom of the table for now at least. Newcastle and West Brom are sitting, Newcastle in bottom and West Brom are second bottom, so not too good for them. But as I said, not the most quality on offer there in that match, but both teams will be generally happy with that point. Moving on to the next match, which was West Brom and Everton. Everton won that match 2-0 in the end. Lukaku and Morales getting the goals there. 2-0 for Everton. Overall, Everton seemed to dominate the match towards the end of the match, but it was actually West Brom who at the start seemed to dominate the match. Some good players for West Brom. They included Berahino, Morrison and Gardner, all played their part in the match. West Brom could have easily drawn the match, just didn't seem to take the chances too well. Ben Foster obviously made that error, gifting Kevin Morales a goal, but in the end it probably could have been a draw, but Everton won in the end. Moving on to the next match, which is Liverpool-Aston Villa. Liverpool obviously losing at home 1-0 to Aston Villa. It wasn't the best of performances by either side, to be honest, but Aston Villa with that three-man midfield of Westford, Delph and Cleverley. Cleverley obviously recently transferred from Manchester United, worked very, very hard, and it was a great midfield, making lots of tackles, good quick passes as well, and just it restricted Liverpool from getting any quick movements going on. Obviously Balotelli played because Sturridge was injured, and Sterling didn't start for some reason. Apparently Rodgers doesn't want him to burn out, but that was a bit weird. So Liverpool just didn't really create much, had one shot on target in the whole match, which is very disappointing for them, and in the end Aston Villa won 1-0. Moving on to the Stoke-Leicester game, finished 1-0 to Leicester. Leicester will be happy with that. One goal, I believe, scored by Oluwa. Scored his third goal in 4 Premier League games. It was Leicester's first win since their return to the top flight, and Crouch obviously missed that header for Stoke, which was like he really should have finished that really close range. Ben Hammercleeps kept his clean sheet on his Premier League debut as well, so that was very good for the keeper. So overall it was a good performance from Nigel Pearson's men, and he'll be happy. And then the final match, which was Tottenham versus Sunderland. Sunderland at home, the match finished 2-2, and 2 early goals, one from Chadley, one from Johnson on each team. Kane got an own goal in the 82nd minute after a kind of cross that nobody decided to clear. Ericsson got a lucky goal as well in the 48th minute. It was a bit of a scrappy match, to be honest. Wasn't the best match. Sunderland played pretty well, to be honest. They had 37% possession, but what they did with the possession was fairly good. Tottenham obviously created more chances, 15 shots, 6 of which were on target. But you know, for the quality Tottenham have, the likes of Lamela, Dembele, Capoue, Adebayor, Ericsson, Kabul, you know, they've got some really good players. You would expect them to maybe find that match a bit easier and win that match. Pochettino, obviously the manager after coming in at the end of the season for Tim Sherwood. I believe Tottenham will have a good season, as I do with Sunderland. Obviously Sunderland got that miracle last season and stayed up, but I believe they'll have an easier season this season. We'll just have to see. Anyway guys, that's the video. Tell me what you thought of this Premier League weekend. Thought there were some really good matches. Obviously Manchester United had their first win, and it was a very good display, albeit against a very poor QPR side. Liverpool lost to Aston Villa 1-0, which was probably the shock of the weekend, and Chelsea, Costa hat-trick. What a player he is, what a signing. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the video guys. Leave a like if you have, subscribe if you want to see more, and goodbye.